Okay, welcome back to Zanti Collects. So today just one box, two figures, very related to each other as well. I'm actually super excited to see this one. So yeah, not going to do a big intro. I'll let you see what it is. It's quite an exciting one actually because it's just, as far as I understand, it's only kind of technically just released, or at least it's only just sort of hit availability quite recently. Let's put it that way. You'll see what I mean once I get into it. But let's see. Yes, Jesus. More sellotape than my mum uses at Christmas. I'll tell you that much. Oh, wow, the boxes on these look really cool. So, they are two prize figures. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, two prize figures, both from the same series. So, if you are a Madoka Magica fan, hopefully this will speak to you. Jesus. We're gonna have to go nuclear route. I can see why they've packaged it like this. But plus side to them, they tried to keep it in as small of a box as possible. There really is no packaging on this whatsoever though. So I'm assuming we've got the main girl first. Let's show her off. So it is a Bandai Namco prize figure of Madoka herself, which when we saw these, we're actually really surprised at how good, at least from the pictures, they looked. So let's have a look and see. There is quite a bit of box damage, but it is a prize figure and it is secondhand, so you can see there's quite a lot of dinks on it, sort of everywhere, but I'm not that fussed for that. So let's just get in and see what she looks like. There we go. So hopefully you can see that on the camera, like how she sort of pieced together, so she doesn't have full dress. Wow, everything is just so kind of precariously put together for this package. It is going to have to be cut into anyway, so yeah. So she sits like this. Should be quite easy to slot this, I would imagine. Yeah, there we go. Wow, I'm actually quite surprised by her hair sculpt on the actual top of the head. It's actually a lot more detailed. I thought it'd be kind of blocky for being a prize figure, but actually, no. You can tell she's not quite fully seated. There we go, now she is. So that's what she looks like without her little wings attached. Well, the only question is going to be, where on earth do her wings go? So this right one, you've actually got to separate the hair. Like you've actually got to pull it apart. There's no way to slot it otherwise. There you go. So you put it in like that, and then it just goes up into place like that. So now with the wings quite precariously pushed in, so it is a prize figure. I'm not expecting, a ton of, very intricate, well thought out how to put it together, etc. We were just talking off camera. You kind of have to angle her in a certain way, because if I turn the wings around, you can see they're quite close together and quite narrow. But honestly, for being a prize figure, I mean, she looks great. I mean, in terms of how she looks herself though, I mean, she's grandiose, and I think we picked her up for what, 2k-ish yen? I think for each figure, so for 2k yen, that's honest to God. Yeah, it's not the best figure you'll ever see in your life, but for 2k, might be the best 2k figure in our collection, at least at the minute. So yeah, no, dead happy with that. The hair's super intricate. There is some bits where it's like not necessarily molded, too cleanly, but again, prize figure, you can't go too critical on this. But in terms of like the actual materials and the dress itself, actually, the gloss glaze look of it is the same as the look of the one that we have upstairs, the Good Smile version of the Ultimate Madoka, that's sort of with her bow and arrow and, with wings flared out. So yeah, if you're looking for a budget version, you can't get a hold of the Good Smile one, or maybe it's a bit out of your price range. Not a bad alternative. Definitely really happy to have this. It's going to be cool to have her displayed in amongst the Madoka shop. Yes.
with her dark aesthetic. Hell yeah. Okay, I might be biased on this one. I might be. Because Homura is my absolute favourite. Yeah, I mean, Vox actually, honestly, for both of them, biased for Homura, but both boxes look great. And again, they're prize figures, but you know, you could actually pretty nicely display that or create a display out of it in the back picture of it as well. Hopefully that's caught quite well on the camera. But the fact that the wings as well go around the side of the box, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then just a little logo on the top and then nothing particularly noticeable on the bottom. So let's see, how did the actual figure come out? Once you've done it once, right? It's not too hard the second time, I say, before this becomes a nightmare. And then, ooh, slightly different with her stand. Hers is bent, which is, we're gonna see how that ends up faring the test of time. Maybe that's why she needs these support stands. Oh wow. Geez, her wings are a lot more delicate looking than Madoka's are. A lot more delicate looking. So the support stand's just really not the most interesting things. Wow. Oh my god. So there is some noticeable issues with the paint a little bit on like the dress and on sort of the side, so hopefully if that can get in focus, you can notice there's a bit of a, it's not like a stain or anything, but it's just where the sort of mold of it hasn't fully, or the paint job itself hasn't fully taken. There's a little bit of a side on the hip there you can see as well. But yeah, her hair is the same as Madoka's though, in the sense that the hair pieces and strands themselves I think are molded quite well, but the dress isn't as sort of intricate. Again, prize figure, so don't, you know, take it as too much of a criticism, but just a notable that it is a bit more sort of pulled together, a bit more matted, but she still looks phenomenal though. Like, I really like that. So I am going to make a mention of this as I am constructing it, as we just talked about off camera. Hopefully that in the shot nicely. She, again, prize figure, so don't take this as a glaring criticism. There is going to be issues with it, but trying to slot her onto this back pole, you're gonna feel like you're gonna break her. My fiance gave up trying to do it. I had to do quite a few like twiddles with it and trying to like really sort of put pressure on it. You have to put a lot of force on the back of the dress, and I was having to use my stomach, like my sternum, to push into the actual support stand. So yeah, Homura, significantly harder than what Madoka was to actually put to stand. Madoka just slotted really easily and nicely. Homura, no, she's going to require a bit more force. But like I say, the dress itself has a lot more sturdiness to it. It doesn't feel like you're going to damage the dress, but you have to be not shy about how you push that in, and be careful with the legs. Her wings definitely are a lot more dainty compared to what Madoka's felt like. And actually, you know, I've actually got some fairly decent, hopefully that shows up on the camera, it's fairly decent shading on it. Again, it's not the most intricate, and the actual wing details themselves are not the most intricate, but they look quite nice. It's actually quite well done. I feel like I'm gonna break her hair. Yeah, I see, I'm just not angling it enough. So it needs to go like that. So here she is, once she's fully put together and with the two support posts on either side, but I think she looks still pretty good even with the two support rods in there. So the two of them together, looking, I think, probably pretty cute. It's very hard to move Homura, I will say this. So when we're trying to put her together, the plus side I will say for this is the actual part. So her wing, if you're putting the pressure like sort of through the wing, so don't put it like against sort of the less wide side, because you'll probably snap it. But if you push into the wing when you're trying to get it into her back, it feels quite steady. Just don't really force it. You'll feel, like, if you've got a good feel of just general plastics and general sculpts, you will know when you're putting too much pressure on it. But the plus side I will say though is, for both of them, the wing cuts and how they're actually put in is actually really good. The only problem is trying to find those holes in between their hair on both of them. Quite difficult. Like, you really have to, like, I was using my phone flashlight and really trying to get in at it to see which way is angled around. But the good thing is, because they've cut out the holes quite well, it's actually quite obvious to see how you're supposed to angle it as you're putting it in. So that is a positive. The only downside is, if you're not accustomed to general figures, these are going to feel quite rough to put together. But once they are together, I think they look fantastic. Like both of them. I mean, again, they're very cheap right now, sort of secondhand, or if you find them. I mean, they've only just released in the last month, from what we were just talking about before. So they are still very, very new on market. So if you're looking for a budget, sort of Homura Madoka duo set for the Ultimate and Devil forms, I think very well worth picking up. And so they don't take up that much space. Like, it's quite hard to sort of compare where they are. But so one thing I will mention with them, so again, size-wise, they're pretty big for price figures, but that isn't just for the size of them. The other thing to note with these is they are pretty weighty. They weigh about 800 grams each, like close to a kilo each, and the two of them in the box, it was noticeably heavy. The actual, for these two arriving, the shipping actually cost, I'm from the UK, so it was £1 more, the shipping, than the actual two figures cost me. So be aware of that when you are considering this as a purchase, is if you do find them through sort of a second-hand or third-party site or whatever, you are likely to pay more on the shipping than the cost of the figure themselves. Now, again, they're not that expensive, but be very aware of that. They weigh a lot. Okay, thanks for watching once again, and see you in the next one. Cheers.